What's up, you guys? Another episode of Two Men and a Lady. And I didn't know we were doing this for about a month. But I saw an episode that said 4 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Well, that's because we missed because we missed like 2 weeks, I think.
Oh,
So
okay.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think we missed a week or so.
Okay, so this is like the third episode. I think.
Yes, it's the third episode. Yes.
This is the third episode. Okay, Katie, introduce yourself to the people that do not know who you are.
Hello, chat. What's up, YouTube? I am Katie Talk 101. Make sure you go and check me out for all breaking news, celebrity chat, and the YouTube mess.
Yes, go ahead, Conscious TV, a YouTuber as well.
Hi, you guys. It is your favorite social media content creator, Conscious TV. You guys know that I'm crazy as hell, controversial, be whipping hoes' ass, suing people from left to right, casting spells and curses, girl. We be educating and doing celebrity gossip. And so, you know, it's just a wild card with me. I'm happy to be amongst my compadres again.
Right. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's just open the show up and we have a full show with the whole casting spells. So do you sit in your bedroom, have a teddy bear, conjure it up? Like, what is that? And do it work.
I do got the voodoo for these bitches. Yes, you know, I come from a family that has a lot of intersection spiritually. So you have Christianity, you have like Blackfoot Indians along with a Cherokee Indian tribe. And so I grew up around a lot of mystical, metaphysical things when it comes to herbs, when it comes to incantations, the way you pray, like there's just a lot. And so obviously, yes, growing up, I maintained all of my supernatural mutant ability. And in terms of it working, well, there wouldn't be so many verses in the Bible denouncing it if it wasn't something that was really effective, even though the verses that get used to speak against metaphysical things are really taken out of context. So there's a lot of education that needs to happen. But I will have to say, recently, somebody was fucking with me online. I did do a reverse feed, and the person's dog ended up getting hit by a car. Now, that wasn't the intention. However, when you return to sender, when you do return to sender magic, hey, that energy shows up and manifests how it shall. So you should just leave people who practice the dark arts alone, okay?
That's right. So when it comes to return sender type of work is just their energy that they sent to you coming back to them.
You boomeranging it back. You don't add nothing to it. You don't take nothing away from it. You literally just hit the reversal button. You just put that thing right on back in the mail and return it right on back to them. And however it hits them, it can hit them in any kind of way. It can show up as cancer. It can show up as full-blown AIDS. It can show up as death itself. It can show up as misfortune. It can show up as bad car accident, fatal car accident, personal injury on the job, lawsuit. It could, your eyebrows falling out, your eyeballs turning red, fungus on your damn feet. I mean, it can be any damn thing. So, it is what it is.
Ooh.
Okay. Oh, wow. Listen, that's why, you have to be very cautious of that. I've grown up in the South. This is not uncommon. They said my uncle robbed a lady, not robbed a lady, but he stole something and she put something on him and now he's in a mental institution. They said she put that voodoo stuff on him. So I don't know.
Your uncle Wiley?
That's my uncle. So they grew up.
Okay. We need to correspond. I can lift that up off him.
Okay,
we need to talk.
And they said because he was in college, and and just whooped. He did.
What?
Woman, she put some on him, and now he's sitting in the mental institution today. And one of the rumors was they put that voodoo, they put that work on him. I'm like, oh.
Well, let me just say this, okay? Because a lot of mystical people get a bad rep, but the truth about magic is. See, there are spiritual laws that God created spiritual laws, just like we have our natural laws, the laws of aerodynamics, the laws of gravity. Like there's natural laws, but there's spiritual ones too. And when people actually get hurt, like if somebody puts a root on you or a curse on you, The only way it can manifest is not because the spell or the curse in and of itself has power. That spell or that curse is also interacting with your own natural karma. So the spell or the curse just stimulates karma that's already there, lying in dormant. Okay, so if you do get fucked up because somebody put a root on you, it's not just the result of the witch or the spellcaster. It is your own manifested karma. The metaphysician or the mystic or the witch just knows how to stimulate that karma, but it is your karma nonetheless that's being used against you.
Oh,
okay.
All right.
Wow. Wow.
We'll talk about that. And
Plead the blood of Jesus.
oh yes, and I
Fix it, Jesus.
I had by shot. Like somebody just said, "Hey, I'm gonna read my Bible today." Yeah, pick it up and have that power in you and stuff like that, and it just leave people alone too. I don't want to mess with nobody.
That's true.
Not at all. Not at all. Okay. That be. I want to get into our first topic tonight. He is trending tonight, and we're talking about none other than the comedian Kevin Hart. He made a couple of tweets today, and when I tell you, I have his tweets right here. The first tweet he put out, he said, "I rarely talk ish, but I feel the need to today. Stop believing these headlines and read the actual articles. You guys fall for the banana and the tailpipe trick every damn time." Then he posts this: "I have also turned my comedic talent into a place of business and branding and radio and other revenue streams that hate/slander fuse me to do more." And then he wrote this: "I have been the highest grossing comedian in the entertainment for years now. I have also been the highest grossing comedian in box office with over $4 billion in earnings." So, and then he also wrote this: "The he's not funny slander is the best. This is for you. I have 3 stand-up comedy specials that fall in the top 10 highest grossing comedy specials of all time. 2 of my specials are in the top 3 of all time." So what he was talking about is, I guess he was upset about cancel culture and about, he was in this big mess. I think he made a joke about his son that he would, if he ever come out as gay, he would do something. And that, and it was an old joke, right? But I want to put that in context. It was his comedy show. He did not harm his son. He's a good provider of his son. He was just doing a joke. But now it must have leaked out, and everybody was like, "Oh, he needs to be canceled." And then that's how he lost his job hosting the Oscars, because the Oscars said, "Hey, we need you to apologize again." And he didn't want to do that because he felt like he didn't do any, he felt like, "I've already apologized. Why should I have to apologize again?" So to the panel, should Kevin Hart apologize? Should he be canceled? Let's start with you, Conscious. What you have to say?
Well, first of all, I noticed that Kevin Hart mentioned a banana, and I just want to let him know that he can certainly email me at conscioustv@gmail.com, because I would love to salivate over his banana. Wink, wink, Kevin Hart.
Oh,
now,
gosh.
in terms of this whole cancel culture thing, cancel culture really is not real or effective when it comes to established people. Cancel culture only works for struggling artists like Chrissy Teigen, who can't even afford $100 worth of groceries after she decided to sing for Donald Trump's inauguration. Okay, so cancel culture only works for people who are barely making it in their career. But these already established folk, cancel culture means nothing to them. Now, to Kevin's point, okay, look, I don't think any of us could have been prepared for this I don't want to call it hypersensitivity, even though there is a hypersensitivity to the culture, but we're living in a progressive culture, and we're trying to deal with our sins and our ills, and we're trying to have people sit at the table who never got a chance at the table, whether that be Black trans women, whether that be the LGBT community, whether that be fat women, because now we're dealing with something called fat shaming. And so now we're making provisions to have everybody at the table. Well, once upon a time, not too long ago in our American culture and within the society, it was okay to rag on big women. It was okay to rag on dark-skinned people. If you look at a lot of the old comedy skits, it was okay to roast and drag darker-skinned people, say they look like charcoal, that they're dark as midnight. It was okay to go in on queer people, etc. And this was something that was culturally acceptable. And so I think it is unfair for us as a society to scrutinize and crucify the players, but not also crucify the culture, which is all of us who also accepted all of this as well. So if we have to drag people like Kevin Hart to the cross, we have to drag ourselves there too, because we all participated in one way or another in the old world. So what we're either going to do is, let's just forgive all past transgressions, let everybody start anew, let's expunge all records, or let's all be dealt with and let's all go to the electric chamber. So I'm with Kevin Hart. That is bullcrap.
Go ahead, Katie.
And I think so too. I think it's BS too. And when it comes to the cancel culture, like he said, it only works with people who already fallen off. You can't cancel somebody who's already been so successful as Kevin Hart. And another thing, you're coming at him for a old joke, but you're overlooking all the good jokes that made you laugh. And now, you looking at something that he said something about, and just think of the people who probably pushed for him to get canceled were probably people that those words probably affected them in a personal way. Most of the time, people always get offended by stuff that they feel like they can relate to. If you're talking against like a person in a certain category and they could have a son that's like that, they could be like that. So they're feeling affected in a personal way. So you trying to end someone's career because of personal feelings, that's not going to work. And I mean, I just don't think you can cancel somebody who already has so much success in what they're doing.
I want to look at this. Kevin Hart is number one. I don't think he's my type of funny. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan of Bernie Mac, and he was funny to me. But I just have an issue when people go to these comedy shows and they get offended. Don't go to the shows because a comedian job is to tell a joke. And you may get offended, but don't release it and say, oh, he needs to be canceled. No. Obviously, he's funny enough to people that's buying tickets to his show because he's grossing in the top 10, and you don't get that by not being funny. So somebody's laughing at his jokes.
Well, you can get that by payola.
Okay, somebody's buying tickets. He does comedy show not in a club, but in an arena.
He sold out Madison Square Garden.
Right. So,
wow.
and he also been a blessing to other comedians as well as Tiffany Haddish, other comedians as well. So his friends, he take that as comedians, they make money off his shows too, because they be opening it up before him. So he helped a lot of people. And I want to say this though, to the people that always come at Kevin Hart, you get up on that stage. You try to tell some jokes, so let's see how funny you is. It's not easy.
It's hard.
It is very hard. You know what I'm saying? And Kevin is mainstream because Kevin is no longer hungry, like coming up like new. He's in his 40s. And once you get them Netflix checks, once you get all them type of checks, you really can't say all that stuff like you really want to say because you will be canceled because it's corporate. Certain group of people you cannot offend. Trans, LGBT. Those are the main two groups you can't. But you get on there and say the N-word, you can degrade black women. But when you talk about those two groups, hey, ho, Kevin Hart's got to go.
Yeah, and you forgot the J word too. The Jew.
Yeah, the J, that too, the J word as well. They will come out and say something towards you as well. And why is that? Because they are in the position of power. They control the media. That's what once I get $1 billion, I want my own network. I want my own news television show so I can have that power. I want to own an advertising company that grows billions because it's power in that. So I can make a decision. Come on, my network conscious. Come on. Let's be unfiltered. I own the power. I own the network. I own the advertising company, and you could be free to say what you want to see. Say what you want to say, and it ain't about you being canceled. Just come on, and I'll give you about $15 million. So, but when you having other people that have the power that do not like that, then they have the power to say, "Oh, you're gonna be canceled," and they will push that narrative on Twitter. They will push people, other blogs to talk about you for you to be canceled. You know what I'm saying? So I personally believe that Kevin Hart, just let it go. People gonna always have their mindset on you about what you said. Just continue to tell your jokes, continue to open up doors for people, and I will continue to watch your movies because you're really good in some of the movies. I mean, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like.
Can I just add something to that?
He is.
I do just want to say to this point. Well, first of all, I didn't understand Kevin Hart's outrage because he put up this big old to-do about having to answer for the old tweets about him bashing his son over the head with the playpen if he found him playing with a Barbie doll, like if he was effeminate or whatever the case may be. And then he made this whole thing about I'm gonna stand my ground. Nobody's gonna bully me. I'm not apologizing, my fans. No, it was a joke. I'm not speaking to that. Only for him to step down and still make a public apology to the LGBT community. What I will say though, to the LGBT issue is I do understand the sensitivity as a same gender loving man around this culture that's now giving hyper visibility to LGBT people. It's still dangerous to be openly queer. I know that we don't think that because we have the RuPauls and we have the T.S. Madisons and we have the Ellen DeGenereses and we have the Laverne Cox and we have all these queer public figures in media, but gay, two-spirited, same-gender-loving people, trans folk at the bottom of the pyramid who don't live in Mount Olympus, who are not protected in gated communities and by wealth, are still experiencing hate crimes. And so you have huge celebrities like Kevin Hart taken to Madison Square Garden or to huge arenas in a jokingly manner, joking about how weird LGBT people are. Unfortunately, this does affect LGBT people. I know that the intention is not that, but it begs the question of intent versus impact. I did not intend to hurt you. Does that nonetheless keep you from being impacted by what I did? And so I think there is more of a conversation to have. I go back to thinking of it like this. Imagine when slave masters had to give up their slaves. If white slave comedians, if white people during times of slavery did comedy skits in rooms full of white folk and talked about how niggers should be killed, that wouldn't have been funny. And the impact would have been disastrous because the culture was doing too new of a thing for those to be just jokes at the time. And so I think it is still too early to necessarily still other queer people and to use your platforms to reinforce really weird narratives about trans folks still being men and all of this shit because folks still dying. And so I think it's too soon for the jokes. However, I do understand comedy is comedy, but we just got to work it out.
For me, comedy is comedy. And when you go to the shows, you go to get offended, you laugh, right? If we start policing what you should and should not say, it will destroy the comedy industry. Because I can't say this about black women. They're going to get mad. The feminists going to get mad. I can't say this about black because the NAACP, Reverend Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. So it will muzzle people in the art of comedy. And what I'm saying is, listen, and that's one thing I agree with Monique, is that I'm not going to apologize for something I say on stage. That is my release. That is my art. And if you come to my show, you come to laugh. And this is why you shouldn't record and leak it out to the public. And I don't. I come to a show to actually have a good time. Another thing I want to say about Kevin Hart, and this is something really, 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 really true in this, because as a black bi man, I know in the hood it's not safe to be gay because you will be attacked. You will be called the F word. You will be called the S word. I understand it. I get it because I went through that growing up, and I will be ashamed to even have my friend with weaves and makeup and purses. I didn't want to sit with them by the bus because we in the hood. You know what I'm saying? So we had to literally pretend to be something that we wasn't because for safety reasons. So I agree with you, Conscious. Everybody, it's not like you can go out there with a rainbow flag, and not in some of these neighborhoods, not in Inglewood, Chicago. Okay, and that's the hood.
Or Detroit, Michigan, or yeah.
You know, so I understand and I get it, but Kevin, I didn't think he didn't mean any malice for it. It was a joke.
Yeah.
And what it is, I just think he needs to stop.
It's simply intent versus impact. It is intent. I think that we can all agree that he didn't mean anything by it, that Kevin Hart probably wouldn't do anybody any harm, but that impact is it gets interesting.
and then it's a power structure. Somebody is leading this narrative. Keep it going when it comes to that. I want to say that, but special shout out to Kevin Hart. Okay,
Shout out to Kevin.
Email me, Kevin. I want to talk to your banana.
So I have on here as well Destiny's Child. They released a song about 17 years ago with Cater to You. So apparently some people are part of Black Twitter want the song to be canceled because it speaks to that women are being submissive and being slaves to a man. So I want to pose a question to the chat and to the panel. Should Cater to You, should that song be canceled? Should they remove it from Amazon, Apple, and Spotify? Why not? Kate, I want to talk to you. What do you think about it?
No. Do not cancel that song. I love that song. That's one of the highlighted songs in Destiny's Child career. And what it represents, I think, women today, especially the new millennial women who are they're just so adamant on feeling like they're equal to men. They probably feel like the song should be for a man. They probably feel like a man should be singing that song to them. It's women that are trying to reverse those roles so much. And then when they're in the position to do what a man needs to do, I mean, they just can't fulfill it. And I just think some women should be submissive, but you got to be submissive not to any and every man. Like you just see some guy that you met on Plenty of Fish and you're like, I want to cater to him. I want to be submissive. Come on over. Come on over, Rodney. I want to cater to you. You can't cater to any and every man. It has to be that right man. So when you find that right man is doing the right thing, you can cater to him. But if you're out here doing all the right things for all the wrong men, you're going to feel like that song is BS. Let's get rid of it. No, it still needs to be women wanting to cater to their men. And you're probably going to have a whole dynamic where men will change their way of how they think about women. That marriage percent may go up if more women have the mind frame of I want to cater to my man.
And going to, just like I'm going to cater to Kevin Hart's banana.
If you're a real man, if you're a provider, good credit, bringing home the bacon, providing for the children, being a provider, a wife will be submit. You ain't got to tell her. She will submit. And if she not, she a little crack. But if a woman will have a problem, it will be a natural thing because you a man. And being submissive ain't what women telling women. No, just being a man, taking care of your manly duties by being the provider, being there for her when she's not well, making sure you bring her some soup. If she do go to work, make sure you run her some nice, warm bath water and rub her feet. Be there. You know what I'm saying? Make sure she have a nice meal. A woman won't mind submitting to that man. So that's what the song, what I got from the song, and no, the song to be canceled. But again, we're dealing with people bored on social media, trying to find something to go viral. And of course, they trying to bait Beyonce to come out and make a statement. Michelle Williams made a statement because ain't nobody really checking for Michelle like that. She's not on Beyonce level. So of course she'll talk about it because she's trying to sell that book that ain't nobody buying. But go ahead, Conscious.
Well, I just want to say this as nice and politically correct as I can about Black Twitter regarding this issue. I'm going to really be a Christian when I say this. Go to damn hell, Black Twitter. Go straight to damn hell, okay? I will put anthrax in all of y'all goddamn mailboxes. Leave Cater to You alone, okay? Just because y'all over there lipping and lapping on coochie, okay, and don't want nothing to do with penis, don't mean that y'all got the damn right to be canceling Cater to You. Are you okay? Okay, so when is the madness exactly gonna stop? So if we're gonna cancel Cater to You, okay, first of all, let's back the choo-choo train up. Do you know how long Beyonce had to eat on chewing gum and Ritz crackers to get her goddamn fupa that flat so she could be out there on that diving board for them leading men in that damn video? And y'all gonna talk about canceling her, girl, after she had to flatten her fupa out like that for that music video? But secondly, if Cater to You represents women being disempowered and weak, what's next? Are we going to cancel Whitney Houston's I'm Every Woman because it promotes narcissism? Are we going to cancel Toni Braxton's Unbreak My Heart because it promotes codependency? I mean, what the hell is really next? I mean, what the hell? Like, this is what the issue is with feminism. Feminism thinks that it gets to speak universally for every damn person that has a goddamn womb. But the truth is, if you're fighting and standing up for women, that also means fighting for women's right to be submissive. It's not about taking women's options on the table. It's about giving women access to all of the damn options and allowing them to make a conscious and informed damn choice. So I don't know who the hell it is behind this goddamn cancel Cater to You, but I'm canceling you in the name of Jesus. You are canceled.
I claim it. I claim it.
All right. Okay. I've definitely carried on that. And again, once again, I have streamed the record. I'm going to continue to stream it. I'm going to stream and have a good time. Listen, I am a fan of music. I don't sit in and cancel R. Kelly music. I listen to music. I am a fan of music. The person can be whatever. But again, I'm going to continue to listen to Destiny Child. And I can't wait till they release a new album. They need to release a new album. It's long overdue. Let's get into that. So, okay. Comment below, you guys. Make sure y'all thumbs up the video and leave a comment on what you think about this subject, and that would be great. We're gonna get into Monique. Okay, let's get into Monique for a second. Where we at? Where's Monique picture at? Okay, here we go, Monique. So, she been in the news for, saying that, women do not should wear bonnets in the airport, and she's gonna tap them on the shoulders. Really, when you go out, dress nice, don't be in pajamas. Of course, a lot of people said, why you didn't have on no bra? Why was you in your role with no bra and saying all this stuff? And so people were criticizing her. But when she recently went on Fox Soul, what was that with Tam and Roman? She stood her ground on there, and she said, I'm not against people wearing head wraps or Birkins, stuff around their hair. Not Birkins. The Birkins, the bag, Birkin bag. But all of those, what the Muslims wear. What do they wear?
It's a turban.
A turban, right. So she's not speaking against that. She was just talking about the nightwear, the bonnet. So what do you have to say about that, Katie Talk 101?
Well, before we get started, I think that people are saying that they hear like a loud music or something in the background.
Okay. Is it a fan or something?
No, it's actual music because I can hear it too.
What?
It sounds like somebody in the parking lot. Like,
okay, any music? I don't hear any music on my end. Hold on 1 second. Let me mute. Let me see something. All right, Katie, you got your headphones in? 1 second.
Yeah, my headphones in.
Okay. All right. They say it's like a rubbing sound. I don't know. Okay. All right.
Hold on. Let me close this door for a second, Jay.
Okay. All right. Give me 1 second, you guys. We having technical difficulties.
Somebody says, yes, it's music or a voice in the background.
Okay. I want to give a special shout out to the people that are actually watching. Special shout out to Kevin Hart that is watching.
Yes.
So, because we sent it to him as well. So I don't know if he's watching. We're going to claim that these people are watching. Okay. But I will get into this with Monique. I want to say this against us. I want to say this against the women out there that's in the chat. I personally do not have an issue of you wearing a bonnet outside, because that ain't none of my business. Now, if you're my wife, then I have an issue with that, because you're a reflection of me. And I will have a conversation like, baby, you're not wearing no bonnet outside. That ain't gonna happen. And I'm not gonna go out there with my boxer briefs and no do-rag outside, right? So it is what it is. We're gonna have that type of conversation. But if you're not my wife, or my sister's gonna do whatever she wants. She'll cuss me out if I tell her don't wear a bonnet. So I'm not even gonna get into that. Again, so that's just the way it is. But if I randomly see, I saw a woman in the parking lot where I live at, and she had on a bonnet, and some told me, why don't you just tap her on the shoulder and tell her don't wear the bonnet? And then some told me don't do it because I would have got maced or whatever. Because I was like, oh, let me do what Monique said. Let me tap her on the shoulder and say, listen, Monique said you should be wearing that bonnet. And we went to go get the mail. I went to go get my mail. She went to go get her mail, and she had this big old mace thing hooked up to her keys. I said, if I would have did that, she would have maced my ass. She would have maced my ass. But I tried my best. I literally tried my best, because I said, "Oh, let me tap her," and she was, nice looking woman. But I would have got maced because it would have frightened her. Who is this man, this cockeyed man telling me where, okay, and probably would have recorded and put it on YouTube.
Yes.
So what you trying to say about it, Katie Talk 101? What?
Okay.
Do you just wearing a bonnet? You're against it? Do you wear one outside in the store? Outside?
Me personally, I have never worn like a bonnet. I never went outside with rollers in my hair. I've never worn any scarves outside. I just think all of that is for the bed. Like, soon as I get out of my bed, I take it off. Or as soon as I get out of the shower, I take mine off. I can't just walk around outside. I never know who I might run into. I could run into one of my exes. I could run into one of his family members. You just never know who you're going to run into. And I remember when I was talking about Lisa Ray discussing this situation on Fox Soul, I remember she was saying you could run into your potential husband. You could run into a potential future boss. You could run into an opportunity for a career or something like that. You just never know who you're going to run into. So every time, especially a woman, every time us women step out, and like I heard somebody say on a panel before when they was letting callers in, and a woman came up there, she was talking loud and acting, what they would call ratchet. You are representing, us when you step out. So we want to try to put the best representation out there. I remember telling I think it was my hairstylist today. I was just telling her, we were discussing the bonnet situation. I was just like, I remember just being out, like before I was going to work, I had my makeup on and, my hair looked decent. I was dressed pretty nice. And the man in front of me paid for my breakfast. I don't know if I was looking regularly in a bonnet and house shoes. You think he would have paid for my breakfast? I don't know.
I don't know.
And I remember being at a gas station. I was only getting like $15 in gas, but it was a guy that before I was about to swipe my car, he said, I got you. So he paid for his stuff and he paid for my $15 in gas. It's not a whole lot, but it was something. But I was looking back at those moments, they were probably just trying to bless somebody. But I was thinking, I wonder if I had on a bonnet and some pajamas and a headscarf, what they would have did that. I don't really think they would have. But we just want to go out here and represent ourselves in the best way possible, especially. And then I look at, like, with me, I am a bigger woman. With me being big with a big bonnet on a big woman, it's not becoming. It just don't look right. So with me being a bigger lady, especially, I really, really pay close attention to, my appearance and how I carry myself, especially when I step out of the house.
Okay, and you should care about how you look outside. At one point, I didn't care, but now that I do YouTube and I be meeting people, like one lady I met at 7-Eleven, oh, you the Wiley Show, you do this, and I didn't know. And then one day I was walking my dog, I met someone. So you want to always come out and represent yourself because you never know when you're gonna meet whatever. And even if you don't meet them, you just want to just leave the house presentable. But it is a generational. Whatever, it's like the millennials. This my generation be like, whatever. I don't want to mess up my hair. It is what it is. The older generation, you should care about yourself. That's sleepwear. So it's about what generation you really talking about that really going to have this type of conversation. But I will tell you this: you can't tap this generation on the shoulders and say, "Hey, don't worry about it," because it's too dangerous now. Don't do it. They're gonna cuss you out. They might rob you and snap you up. Like, don't do it. Go ahead, Kanye.
First of all, if you tap me on my shoulder, I'm gonna tap your ass. That's what's gonna happen. Okay, that ass gonna get tapped. Secondly, I find it so interesting that Lisa Ray had a lot to say, because she doesn't wear a bonnet, but that didn't keep Nicole Murphy from snagging her ex-husband while she was still married to him. So this idea that somehow a bonnet just garnishes so much, like not wearing a bonnet garnishes so much respect and dignity, and it keeps the man. Lisa Ray had her hair completely laid and slayed to the ground, and her nigga was on a private island with Nicole Murphy getting rolled into oblivion, okay? So that's a crock of crap. Third of all, when it comes to Monique has walked the red carpet with her goddamn legs looking like that of a werewolf, unshaven, completely unclassy. You can Google those images, okay? Secondly, Monique is talking about how undignified women in bonnets appear to be. But what I find interesting about her critique is that when she spoke about those women in the airport, she never said anything about their conduct. She literally just complained about them having on what to me is just a female do-rag. It wasn't like she was saying, oh, these women in a bonnet are behaving a certain way. Those women were still being classy, minding their damn business, not judging her wide back ass or whatever the hell she had on, and was moving on through the goddamn airport terminal in peace and in silence, okay? Because you can be grown, mature, and adult-like in a damn bonnet. Second of all, Monique's own antics have proven to us that you don't need a goddamn bonnet in order to act like you're wearing one. Because was Monique wearing a bonnet when she told Oprah to suck her motherfucking dick? Was Oprah wearing a? I mean, was
okay, but
wearing a bonnet?
But she was in her comedy show again.
It
was her comedy show.
It ain't just
again,
a comedy show.
It was her comedy show.
Not just a comedy show, baby.
It was her comedy show.
She said it 3 times, Wiley. She said it on her live.
It was her comedy. Listen,
it wasn't just a comedy.
Wiley,
it wasn't just a comedy show. She said it on her live when she was talking about the man, and she was in her feelings. She told Lee Daniel
she didn't have on no bonnet.
She didn't have on no bonnet.
She didn't have on no pajamas.
She told her superior on 3 different occasions to suck her dick. So she proved to us, Wiley, that you don't need a bonnet to have the bonnet spirit.
It was just a comedy show. It was a comedy show.
We ain't talking about just comedy.
Yes, it was. It was funny.
It wasn't just comedy.
It was really funny. I laughed.
I've seen the live she's did for her. It's not just a comedy. She said it off stage as well. She insulted her peers.
Again, listen, I stand with her as a comedian. It was funny. Somebody was in the audience and recorded that, and she did an interview to talk about that. But again, homegirl did not have on no bonnet. She didn't have on no Gucci thong. She was very well dressed, and makeup was done. And
acting like a ratchet fool.
She had to say what she had to say. If you didn't like the comment,
so why is it that Monique gets all the privilege to do what she want to do, bonnet or no bonnet, but she out here policing black women who got enough things to deal with? She know that damn black
only one. She not the one that said it. Tamara, she said, listen, I wear bonnets in my house to do videos, but I will not, quote, I will not wear it outside. So she's another one that agreed. Lisa Ray agreed.
But that's all right.
Many mothers out here, elderly women that I've talked to said, listen, baby, I've talked to a lady nurse. So she said, listen, sugar, these young gals should not be wearing these bonnets. That's something that you wear at home when you get ready to go to bed. So it's sleepwear. It is what it is.
Hold on, Wiley.
You're not going to wear no bonnet outside. You're not going to wear no bonnet outside.
Hold on, Wiley.
You're not going to wear no bonnet outside.
You ain't talking about the grandmas, because while those classy base elderly black women might not have ever walked outside looking anything less than a supermodel, those same no bonnet wearing women of that generation were going home to me and your grandfather getting knocked upside their motherfucking head in private, okay? They showed a lot of self-respect in public and was settling for a lot of fuckery and buffoonery and physical abuse and rape and molestation at home. So all that respectability politic crap, y'all can miss me with
not all. Again, not all. I'm just saying that all. I would never see you out there with a bonnet. Would you wear a bonnet, Conscious? Answer the question.
Yes,
I you would go to the store and to the airport and wear a bonnet. You lie. Your ass is lying. You will not do that.
I would, Wiley.
Do you think that Conscious would go outside with a... Would you see him outside with a bonnet?
Conscious is too fabulous to be walking around with a bonnet. I can't see it. I can't see it. If you ever go out with a bonnet, please make sure you take a picture of yourself, Conscious, and post it to your community wall. Put it on your community wall so we all can see.
I want to see that.
But let me tell you this, Wiley, you are so right. You know what? When you was talking about the grandmother, because I remember this. This was all the way back when I went to Job Corps a long time ago. This was like the year 2000. And I remember me and a guy I was dating. He was from Louisiana. You know, those people, they got old spirits down there. He was from Lafayette, Louisiana. We were sitting there, and it was some girls walking up to the cafeteria. And 2 out of the 3 girls, they had on boxer shorts, flip-flop house shoes, and rags around their head. I mean, they were looking like stank. And you know what? When me and him and his cousin was sitting there, both of them guys said, I didn't even say nothing. I just looked and observed. I try not to judge women when I'm around other men. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I talk amongst other women about women. That's what I try to do.
Amen.
But these men said, boy, if them girls was walking down the street in my neighborhood, them old women would talk about them so bad. And they was just looking disgusted when they was saying it. And I was just like, wow. That's all I could say. I didn't even add nothing to it because they said enough. But I'm saying how guys look at women that go outside, that look like they just get out of bed, and then they think like this: what is that girl hygiene's like? If she got up out of the bed with her night clothes on and just came outside, what does she smell like? And then that's when we get over into those subjects talking about the woman's private parts and how they smell and their hygienes and stuff like that. You know, that's when those subjects start coming up. So it's connected to a lot of stuff. The way a woman come outside with her appearance. These things are connected to a lot of things.
I hear you on that. Okay, Conscious, you want to get into John Legend's wife?
On to more cancel folk, okay? So here it is, child. We have Miss Chrissy Teigen, okay? Who you all know her. She is an ex-supermodel as well as John Legend's, okay? One and only love and wife. Well, Chrissy Teigen is making headlines after some old tweets came up where she basically was trolling some folk like hell, and they were pretty disrespectful, disgusting tweets. It even came out that one of the tweets were directed toward an underage Twitter user towards 16-year-old girl. It was just a lot. So Mrs. Teigen, she went and issued a very, very lengthy apology, basically just atoning for her sins, saying that there's no excuse for her ratchet behavior, that she regrets every single day seeing a lot of the things that she used to do on Twitter, that she was a adamant Twitter troll, and that she just deeply apologizes to the public and she asks for our love and support. Now, one of those, right, Wiley, you're right on top of it. One of the individuals who followed behind that apology was Mr. Michael Costello, who is a fashion designer in the fashion world. Him and Chrissy obviously would have encountered and intersected because they both worked in the fashion industry. Where here it is, we have DMs of a conversation between Chrissy and Mr. Michael with his fine ass, who can also email me at conscioustv@gmail.com. I want to see what that banana does as well. But let's read these tweets. These tweets read, Chrissy, can I call you? No, I do not have anything to say to you. You will get what's coming to you. Okay, Michael replies and says, Chrissy, I've never called anyone the N-word. Those fake images were photoshopped from a former disgruntled employee. Good luck with that, LOL. Okay, I don't know what the next thing reads because we have it cropped out. But it goes on to say, good luck with that, LOL. MAA. Hope that story keeps your already dead career going. Michael replies and says, please call me. He offers his number, which should not be blurred out, Wiley. I am suffering from this more than you can imagine. So many people are attacking me over this. It's a fake story, but your comment is adding more fuel to the fire. Good. Racist people like you deserve to suffer and die. You might as well be dead. Your career is over. Just watch. Okay? So things got quite heated, honey, afterwards. But let me tell you a little tea y'all don't know. Right after... Oh my God. Okay.
And that's what he
Let's
said.
have at it. Okay. I didn't want to do this, but I cannot be happy until I speak my mind. This is coming from Michael. I need to heal. And in order for me to do that, I must reveal what I've been going through. I've wanted to kill myself and I am still traumatized, depressed, and have thoughts of suicide. Okay. This man wanted to kill himself, okay? This is how much heat he was catching, how much backlash online and how much backlash he was catching in his actual career. He went on to say how many of his bags were stopped, people was hiring him, and then he would get unhired and not know why, etc. But this is the gag. Right after Mr. Michael Costello's fine ass, who's going to give me that banana reel soon, after he had issued those statements, okay? Leona Lewis, you guys know she's a famous, I think she's I don't know whether she's a famous European artist or something. Y'all know Bleeding Love. Well, she came out and said that Michael fat shamed her years ago at a fashion show where he basically where he said she was too fucking big to wear, to be fitted for in his clothes. And he mocked her, he gawked at her, she was humiliated and embarrassed by her. And anybody who has seen Leona Lewis knows this is a frail woman. So if Michael considered her to be fat, I can't even imagine what size they must be a 0.00 in the waist, in the ass, in the breast. But coupled with Leona Lewis, another black model came out right behind Leona Lewis and said that she had to whip Michael Costello's ass years ago because he called her a nigger bitch in a store, which led to the police being called. It led to a whole altercation. And so while he was trying to expose Chrissy Teigen, he was getting exposed as a result of trying to hold her accountable. So it's a whole hot mess. What y'all think?
I would say this, Christy, it's so sad to be so famous and have all that money. Troll it. I gotta say, you broke. You know, you try to come up. But when you got all this power, married to one of the most powerful men in the music industry, and you troll it like that. And that's something to her. She need therapy and she must be bored. Let's trade life. Let me be married to John Legend. Let me have all this privilege, because you should not be doing this at all. And she should be counseled. She need to take a break. She need to take a class. She do not need to be on the red carpet with John Legend. And guess what? I do believe John Legend needs to distance himself, maybe even divorce her, because I don't want to be married to a woman that is telling somebody that they should kill themselves. That person, I don't even want to be in the same bedroom. I don't even want to go inside of their yoni. If you're speaking death to somebody, I have to say, you know what, baby? Let's get a divorce attorney. Let's call it quits, because obviously we on two different roads. You believe in one thing and I believe in something else, and I don't agree what you're doing. Go ahead, Katie. Let me because I know it was a sound company. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, you hear me, don't you?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. I don't believe in trolling people, especially you dealing with a man that probably already go through depression, and you're saying stuff like that to him. And what if that would have triggered him to really, really taking his life? Like, how would she feel then? And you just never know what a person going through when you saying certain stuff to them on the internet, because it hit different people different. Like, for me, I could read a stupid comment and be like, if it was funny, I might laugh, even if you're saying it about me. And I just move on. Like, okay, what else is going on? But everybody don't move on like that. Like, a lot of those things that you say on the internet can hit people a bit different and affect them differently. You just telling somebody to go and take their life, that's just the craziest thing. And that's just something I've been hearing like the past 4 or 5 years, people like telling people, oh, kill yourself. Like that's not a catchphrase to me. because there's people out here that really, really, really go through depression, and that's just not cool. And then the thing that he said about the tweets, I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple of years ago, she deleted like thousands and thousands of tweets. She deleted a whole lot of tweets. And you
But
know what? It was the type of tweets where if it was a man that put up these type of tweets that Chrissy put up, oh, that man will probably be under investigation right now. They'll probably be over there hanging out with one of them Epsteins or Weinsteins. It's just from me as a woman, I can honestly say when it comes to stuff like that, women get a pass. It seems like they get a pass. Some of those women in the industry get a pass for being predators. And Chrissy is just not cool. Like Wiley said, you know, I think John Legend, you probably need to hit up a dating site. You probably need to be looking for you another piece. Because she is not a good look for you, man. She's not a good look for you.
Not for his brand. Go ahead, you want to finish up?
I was just gonna bring that up, Katie, about her problematic tweets. I mean, she had tweets up there because she's constantly gotten in trouble for her tweets. Some of her tweets were something to the equivalent of, have you ever wanted to touch have you ever wanted to touch the person right in front of you and like be sexual? And then she would say, but it happens to be your 3-year-old niece. And I'll be like, well, like very predatorial, like Chrissy's a weirdo. But people are saying she needs to distance herself from John Legend. The reason why that's not going to happen is because oftentimes what looks to us on the outside as opposites attracting are actually just like on like. You just have one person who's more covert in the behavior and another person who's more overt in the behavior. I guarantee you that John Legend is just like Chrissy Teigen, you know, telling how ratchet and low down those conversations are in the bedroom about their peers, about their friends. Don't think that because John Legend got his fingers on the piano that he ain't with the Chrissy Teigen-ish, baby, okay? He's just, y'all all know that in every problematic group, right, there's always that quiet one. That quiet one might be quiet, but they just as dangerous, just as problematic as everybody else. They just don't catch the heat because they whisper their disrespect while their crew is very explicit in their disrespect. So I agree. I hope that Chrissy's response is sincere and she shuts the hell up, go suck on her man's banana, go be a wife and a mother, and go start a fundraiser, go create a goddamn shoe, go wear a boot, go do something, girl. Like, I'm sure there's some useful thing you can go do with your privilege, with your wealth, and with your fame, other than being online trying to be cute, okay? Because 5 years later, your ass is being canceled, and that menstrual cycle is gonna hit hard this month.
All right. Okay. OMG. Okay, I'm gonna get to our last subject. I think that we got to pretty much all the subjects, but this story was really sad. His name is Kevin. How you pronounce his last name? Is it Strickland? Kevin Strickland is a man that's in prison. Been in prison for 43 years. I believe he's in his 60s. I think 62. And he's been found innocent. Like, he did not do the crime. He did not do it. And the prosecutor came out, did a press conference and said, yes, he's innocent. But the governor have not pardoned him. He have not been released. The Missouri State Supreme Court said no, they don't want to hear the case, and he's yet still sitting in prison innocent. He was accused of doing a triple murder, and one of the victims recognized him and pointed him out, but years later recanted her story and said he did not do it. So they found the two guys that actually murdered the three people that was killed. They actually served 10 years, served their time, and they're innocent. And he's yet still sitting in prison today, waiting on the governor to pardon him. And so it's really sad. And I want to say this. We are speaking in this situation that our criminal justice system is broken. Our justice system is broken. And it needs to be fixed from the bottom all the way up to the top. And it's local. every local justice system, whether it's through the court system, they need to change their laws, because this is why I tell people, when you vote, don't just vote for federal level. You have to vote for state. You have to vote for county. You have to vote for city council, because laws need to be. So it's a law that's sitting on. I don't even have the governor's name, but it's sitting on his desk, and it will literally, if he signed it into law, that man that's sitting in prison right now, Kevin, will be free, a free man. This is sad. And you know what? In Missouri, where this happening, he cannot even sue and get any money, even though they made a mistake. They have made a mistake. He can't even go and sue and the state pay him money, because the law say, no, we're not. We have a law that's against that. It is what it is. And so it's really sad to sit in prison in a wheelchair and probably going to die in prison. It's just really sad. It's really, 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 really sad. I'm gonna go to you, Katie, because it's echo on your end. Go ahead, Katie.
Okay, yeah. When I ended up seeing that video, I was so heartbroken when I seen it, because you had 43 years taken from you for something that you did not do, and it's a good amount. Don't get me wrong; it's people in prison that did actually do the crime, but it's a big number of people that are in there that are actually innocent, and they just had to have someone to put this crime on. And yes, you are right. It's important that we do vote. It's important that we vote when it comes to the local votes. When those votes are put in, they go into effect immediately. So those are really, really the most important things. I just think it's those, some of those laws need to change in that state. It just sounds crazy. And when I heard that man say, if I was to get free, I'll grab the nearest cardboard box and go under the nearest bridge. When I heard him say that, I was just so heartbroken, because he feel like so much of that man's life been took from him already. What else is there for him to do? All that time he's done in prison, even though he innocent, if he get free, it's going to be difficult for him to get a job. What places jumping to hire a old senior citizen with a record that's been locked up 43 years? There's really no future out here for him.
And that's in a wheelchair. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, and in a wheelchair. I almost forgot about that. Yes, he's in a wheelchair.
Really sad. Go ahead, Conscious.
Well, I agree with everything that you guys both said. I mean, the fact that, once again, like you said, Wiley, there's going to be no restitution, no reparations paid back to this man, because the state he lives in doesn't even permit that. In the actual interview, you also literally hear the judge who's presiding over this case just denying this man's freedom, basically saying, hey, he was tried by his peers. They found him guilty. It is what it is. This is atrocious in a damn democracy. And I want to know, where the hell is Black Lives Matter at? Because it shouldn't just be about when Black men are bleeding out in a pool of their own blood in the streets, but that all of the Black men and Black women who have been wrongfully convicted, who are rotting away in the criminal justice system, this is where the boycotting and the protests and the energy of that also needs to be at. This man, as you guys said, he's going to have no shot at life. I mean, there's no work experience. He has no trade, no skills, no anything to survive off, no SSI, no Social Security. I mean, this is an abomination. And, you know, when you think about a lot of the things that America goes through, COVID, all of the deaths that happen, I feel like all of these things is this country's karmic debt again and again and again. There is unjust blood laid out in these damn streets. I pray for this man's freedom. I hope he has a civil suit against whom the hell ever needs to be held accountable. I feel like the judge who is just allowing this case to sit on his desk and not do anything about, he should be disbarred and he should be imprisoned, because this is a country that's built on truth and damn justice. They've proven this man to be innocent, and yet he's still in jail. Somebody ass need to be locked up federally as a result. I mean, that is atrocious, once again, amongst a fucking democracy. Y'all fine-tooth combed through this crime and put him in jail, and then y'all went back and fine-tooth combed through it again 40 years later and found out he's innocent of the crime. Now, does anybody here know if the family that was murdered is white or black?
They're black. I believe
they're black. Okay.
I believe they're black. If I'm not
mistaken, black. It's a black family.
I think it's a black family. I could be wrong. Correctly. I don't know if they're. I'm trying to understand. I think it's black because he said he was friends with one of the victims, and that's how they had his fingerprint. And he was driving a car because he was friends with one of the victims. So that's just how that went. But it's a law that said, hey, you cannot sue for money. You can't sue in a civil court. It's a law against that. Right, because they talked about that in the interview, and his brother got up and said, hey, you know, he did an interview and he said, I would love my brother to get out so he can see his mother, because my mother only got about 1 or 2 years left, and it's sad that, you know, he won't be able to see his mom. He might even die in prison because his health is failing, but the system failed him, and the prosecutor got out there, well, I don't know what happened. No, call it out. This is white supremacy. These laws targeting this black man, because the first trial he had, it was a hung juror. It was a black juror, so it was a hung juror. So it was a mistrial. The prosecutor said to his lawyer, to Kevin's lawyer, I promise you this won't happen the next time. So he used all of his strikes and just strike all the black jury, and he had an all white jury, and they found this man guilty. And reason why the media started talking about it, because one of the jurors said, well, he looked guilty off of his driver's license picture, but when I saw him in the courtroom, he looked like
my neighbor.
My neighbor. So this is not uncommon. It is so many cases that we don't even know of. They're sitting and rotting in prison. Some have died. Some on death row have been killed and was innocent. And our system needs to be fixed. And how it's going to happen? It needs to happen from the state level, from the local level, from the county level. You know what I'm saying? And that's on how we're going to really fix this, and also fix it on the federal level. But when you're black, we have so many strikes against us, and this is why we have to get into politics. Like Katie, this is why if you want to run for office where you at in Arkansas, Conscious, you run for office, so, and I run for office, so we can have a seat at the table. Because if we don't have that seat, we're going to be on the menu. Somebody else that don't like us, like our skin tone, making rules about us. So we have to be in those rooms.
I'm going to be honest. I feel like the root of the issue is the fact that our Constitution, we're not even able to reinforce our constitutional right to dismantle a government system that we're dissatisfied with, which is the constitutional right of the American people. If we find that our government does not serve us, technically we have the right to dismantle it, to dispower it, to disassemble it, and to recreate it in the image of our virtues, of our ethics, and our morality. Now, of course, we're at a point now where we've been conditioned and convinced, okay, that the government is the one who makes the decisions and is at the submission or the subjection of the government, but it's actually the other way around. This is where communities need to have their own individual coalitions. Like this, I don't believe, when we have this level of corruption within government, I don't believe that the way to then always deal with the government is by being in government. I believe some shit needs to be torn down. I believe some goddamn spaces you need to kick the goddamn door in and run up. I believe all hell needs to break loose in some instances, okay? My issue with white America is that white America have relied upon pillaging, rape, and violence to come into power, while black people have continued to be, for the most part, rather passive in terms of how they get change done in their country. And people might not like it, but I do believe that it's time for us to pull one out of white America's goddamn hat. And it's time to get ratchet, and it's time to be aggressive in our means for justice, especially when it's justice that we're fighting for. Okay, people scared of the bloodshed, scared of the loss. I don't give a damn. At the end of the day, we're going to lose more black people to the system if we don't aggressively dismantle it than we are by sitting back and trusting the government to treat us right and to protect our kids in our neighborhoods.
Oh, yes, you're exactly right about that. Well, you guys, this was another episode of Two Men and a Lady.
Why
Again,
you got all heavy toward the end and shit?
okay,
Got me all stirred up.
okay. So I had get all heavy for that, and we will definitely keep you updated on this case. And we pray that he be released. All right. So, Conscious, tell the people how they can get in contact with you.
Of course, my handles on I'm not on Facebook, but on Instagram and on YouTube is Conscious TV, spelled with the Z, not with the S. So I know a lot of y'all be looking for me and spelling my name all normal. It's with the Z. And just come on over, follow the kingdom. We crazy over there. And thank y'all for another amazing night.
All right, go ahead, Katie Talk 101.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. You guys can reach me right over here on YouTube at Katie Talk 101. Hit me up on Instagram at Katie Talk 101. And also head over there to Facebook at Katie Talk 101. I have a group on Facebook. So go over there and join. You jump right in.
Right. I want to say thank everybody for their support. Shout out to everybody for that. We want to say apologize for the technical difficulties. We're going to get it together. This is live. You know what I'm saying? It's not pre-recorded. I also want to say thank you to the new subscribers, and make sure you go and subscribe to Conscious TV as well as Katie Talk 101. And we will be back next week. So we want to say thank you so very much for thumbing up. If you want to be a sponsor of our show of Two Man and a Lady, email me at wileyshow@gmail.com as well. So thank you for all the support that came, and for the emails, and for the DMs. Listen, we are Two Men and a Lady, so it's great. We got the flyer up, we've got a logo coming, we got other stuff coming as well. So we want to thank everybody for coming over, and y'all have a good night, and we will see y'all next week. Peace.